Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the Unstoppable Podcast Show, and I am Jennifer Hardy. Welcome, 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 wherever you are listening from in the world. Thank you so much for joining us today. So today I have a beautiful guest who is Joanna Petrie-Rout. How are you doing, Joanna?
I'm great. Thanks ever so much for asking me to come along today.
Of course, it's fantastic to have you on and get to know a little bit about you and the work that you're doing out there in the world. So you have a business called No Ordinary Woman, yeah?
I do, yeah, and I love it.
Excellent. I know. I absolutely adore it as well. Obviously, I've seen what you do on social media and the work that you do, and it's fantastic. So talk to us just a little bit about what No Ordinary Woman actually is and how it was born.
Okay, so No Ordinary Woman is, I'm basically a mentor for women who are feeling stuck in some way. So maybe they've reached a point in their career where they're not sure where they're going and what their next step is, or have just got to a point in life where they're sitting wondering what comes next and what else they can be doing. So maybe sensing some frustration. And the reason I do that is because that's exactly where I was about 3 or 4 years ago in my own life. So I'd had a really great corporate career spanning 25 years, which doesn't seem possible. It's gone in a flash. But I'd loved what I was doing, but I'd literally hit a point in my life where I was thinking, I don't know, this doesn't excite me in the same way that it did, and I'm not really sure what my next step is going to be. So I was actually really fortunate that I decided to go on an unusual holiday with my husband a couple of years ago, which was to do the Coast to Coast walk. And for people who don't know that walk, it's essentially 192 miles that you walk from one side of England to the other. And that walk gives you an awful lot of time to get into your head and to think about what it is you're here to do, what you really want to get out of life. So I came back from that walk really thinking that I just couldn't sit and settle. I couldn't sit at my desk in my job thinking I've only got another 10 or 15 years of this and I can do it, because that just isn't who I am. So I made the decision that I was going to really dig deep and start to think about what my true purpose was. And at the time, I was actually gifted a book by my husband that really inspired me, and it was the Jo Malone autobiography. And listening to her story and seeing some of the things that she had overcome and the entrepreneurial spirit that she had really inspired me to start thinking differently about what I wanted to do. So after about 2 or 3 months of using all the self-development techniques that I've used in my corporate career, I started to realize that my purpose is helping other women to come out the other side of what I'd just been through. And so I was sat in my office at home, and suddenly the idea of No Ordinary Woman came to me. Because what I want to do is I really want other women who are sitting there thinking that they're just going to settle to realize that actually there is so much more that they can do, and there is so much more potential in them, and that they just need to step out of that fear and step into the brilliance that they have inside them.
And the good thing is they don't have to go on a week-long walk to figure that out.
No, they don't. I did all the hard work for them.
Wonderful. So I know that you don't just work with the kind of spirit and with the mindset. You use a couple of different things, a couple of different ways of bringing all this alchemy together to up-level people. So I know that one of the parts of that is actually essential oils. And I have just began to get into essential oils probably just in the last month or so, and realize and see just how incredible they can be. I didn't realize things like you can actually add them to your drinks, like teas and coffees and stuff like that, as long as they're completely pure. And you, no doubt, will have some of the best in the market. I've got no doubt in my mind. And you can have them in your house in diffusers, and you can, clean with them. Like there's like multi-use incredible products. So talk to me a little bit about how that became a part of what you do. And I suppose just a little bit more information on how incredible essential oils actually are and why they're important to your part of the process.
Okay, perfect. So what I've come to recognize in the transformation that I've gone through is that there were three elements that I really felt I needed to work on. So mindset certainly was where I started, and I've really shifted and worked really hard to get rid of limiting beliefs that I know were holding me back. So mindset is absolutely critical. But as I'd started to work on that, somebody actually gifted me an essential oil. And at the time, my brain was just absolutely wouldn't shut off. It was just swimming all of the time with all of the ideas I had in my business. And I felt so inspired, which is, a really good thing, but it really was impacting my sleep. So she gifted me this bottle of oil called Serenity, which is just stunning. And she'd said to me, if you diffuse this before you go to bed, this is going to really help you. It's going to quieten your mind and it's really going to work well. And I'll be honest, I was very skeptical at the time because I've always thought the essential oils are really about making your house smell nice, or, you get to choose an oil that you can use when you're having a massage, that kind of thing. And this oil just was amazing. So I started to use it and I really started to receive really great benefits from it. So I started to research it and look into it in a bit more detail. And I became really passionate about 12 months ago now about the benefits of essential oils to your health and well-being. So I use extremely pure. I use the best oils that I think there are in the world, and that enables you to use them in so many ways. So what I do now is I actually connect that into the coaching and mentoring I do with women. So not only can I help them on the mindset shifts that they need to make, but I can also help weave in the essential oils to really help with any emotional blocks that they have, to manage their emotions, and really to help them focus on being the healthiest person that they can be. So I have become a complete convert, which is why I now use them, as I say, in my business as well.
I think you know how powerful things are when, for example, they say that you can't use certain ones when you're birthing, you can't use certain ones when you're going through blah, blah, blah kinds of treatments. So that must mean that there's a lot more in essential oils than meets the eye. And I think what happens is, and I don't know if you'll agree with me, but I really do, that modern medicine is such a massive money maker. It is, a billion-pound industry. So when you go to your doctor with the problem, it feels as if all they ever try and do is they want to mask it. And I can remember being very, very lucky once. When I was going through a bit of a hard time after having my third daughter, my third child. And I was feeling very low, postnatal depression kicked in, post-traumatic stress after her birth, things like that. And I was very lucky to find a doctor that said, okay, yes, here's the medicines, and gave me them, but also said there's a few things that I also want you to do. And some of that was natural remedy, meditation being one, and a few different essential oils for me to rub on my chest and my neck before I went to bed at night to allow me to sleep better. And energize, and I think it was lemon or something he suggested. I think it was lemon something else, and I put that, or just kind of smell that in the morning, put it on my pulse points. Now, I don't know if, me believing so much that I didn't have to take this medicine and I believed that I could get better had also had like a positive impact. But the difference to my life after doing those small things, a little bit of exercise, I started to look after my diet, meditation, and using essential oils completely changed my life. And that's why, obviously, essential oils for me now, because what happens is you have a good experience, then life takes over, and then you're like, oh, I don't need to do all that stuff anymore. Doesn't it? And then you, obviously, I've been going through a time in my business where lots of things are happening. And I was like, okay, what did I do to put myself back in that lovely flow state? So I went back and got back into essential oil, got back into meditation and all the rest of it. And yeah, that should be the pillars. That should be your kind of what's the word I'm looking for? And when it's like, oh, it was on the tip of my tongue there.
It's the first port of call that I go to now. It really is. So, I've suffered with migraines in my life. And so now when I know that I'm getting a migraine, what I will immediately do is reach for an essential oil first and try that in the first instance. But the thing that I say to the clients I have that I talk to about oils is an oil can probably deal with 80% of the health challenges and the well-being challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis, but there will always be a place for making sure you get good medical advice. But I love the fact that your doctor was encouraging you to try a different method.
Yeah, exactly. Because it never normally happens. You know, I hear so many people, you know, go visit the doctor, and I've had family as well, and it's like, okay, we'll give you this to mask the problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't even ask, you know, why do you think this is, where do you think it's coming from? And you know, questions that would uncover the root cause. It's very much like, you've got this thing, mask it, but how long can you continue to mask something for without it, you know, completely falling down on you?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many shifts. I really have. I've seen, you know, and as I said to you at the beginning, I was quite skeptical about it when I first started, but I've seen too many people now try an oil for something that they've been struggling with for a long time and find that natural solution has helped where medicine hasn't been able to. So it's I've seen little mini miracles, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. So part of what you do as well is you really do help women rediscover their main purpose in life, or one of their purposes in life. I think it's nice to believe that you have many. But I think one of the things that I see a lot is women not having the confidence to believe that they are worthy of living a life that they choose, because we are conditioned to believe that it's school, it's university, it's jobs. Yeah, we were in that workflow. So breaking free from that seems to be like radical, doesn't it? And starting your own thing, starting your own business. So I would love to ask, why do you personally think that women get so disconnected from what's in their hearts, like their true purpose? Why do you feel that happens, and they feel as if they can't break away from the mold?
I think we get into habits. So I think if I think about my journey, I had a great career that I absolutely loved, but I got to a point where I fell out of love with it. And I don't think that's dissimilar to a lot of women. I think there is an age that you get to where you suddenly think, is there more to this? And I literally could feel it in every fibre of my being. And I could hear a voice inside me just saying, you can't just keep doing this for the rest of your life. But the fear, I think, really holds people back. And that's what I see so much with the women that I work with in particular, is it's almost a brave step for them to even admit that they want more. And so what I do is I really help them with that confidence piece. And the first sessions that I do with my clients, we really focus on what is it that you really want. And the battle that I come up against with them every time is not allowing themselves to actually want more than they've got. I think we are sometimes held back a little bit by thinking that we should just be grateful for what we have, because, you know, in this modern world, we're very blessed with what we've got. But I really help women to sit back and think, if you had a blank piece of paper and you were honest to yourself and you listened to your heart, what would you go for? And then the next step is for me to then really help them to move in that direction.
I love that. Fantastic. So what is your mission? What's your plans? What would you like to see occur or happen in the next few years on a personal level for you, Joanna, but also for the work that you do as well?
Okay, I have this so clear now because I practice everything that I preach. So one of the things that's really important to me with the people I work with is that they see me as authentic. And when they're talking to me about their challenges, I get where they're coming from because I've been there, I've seen it, and I've experienced it. So for me, my mission over the next few years is to help thousands of women globally to really tap into their intuition, to trust that and move beyond living an ordinary life, to stop playing small and to really step into the brilliance they have within them. Because I am so passionate about this. I believe that there is no such thing as an ordinary woman. I believe that we all have something incredible about us. We just sometimes don't allow that to shine. So that's my mission. I think in terms of where I would love to get in the next few years, I've got a new program that's going to be coming out next year, which is really focusing on balancing the mindset work, the spiritual work I do, and also the essential oils. And that program will launch in January, and that's called Limitless. So it's a group coaching program, which I'm really excited about. I can't wait to launch that. I would love to be able to do some more public speaking, to be able to be in front of women and just show them what is possible, because I literally do believe that I live an extraordinary life now that is just perfect for me. I would love to move to Italy. So that is the dream that my husband and I have. So within 5 years, I'd love to be living in Tuscany, and I would then love to be able to host retreats out there to really impact as many women as I can.
Beautiful, and I'll definitely come and visit when you're in Tuscany.
Yay! I'm so pleased about that.
So tell me where we can find you in the world, in the interweb world, Joanna. Where can we come and get to know a little bit more about you and the things that you have going on?
Okay, so I've got Facebook pages for No Ordinary Woman, and also my oils, the oils business that I do, which is Essentially Now. And I also have my website, which is www.no-ordinary-woman.com. And on there, you'll see the details about the programs that I do, the work that I do with essential oils. And also I'm going to be including some information on there about the spiritual practice that I do on a daily basis to support the work that I do.
Fantastic, excellent. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show today.
Oh, the pleasure's mine, thank you.
Thank you so much. For everyone that's out there listening today, I know that you've got some nuggets out of that, especially how all this beautiful, is it even the modern way of getting well? I'm not quite sure if it is, but these natural ways, you know, they massively have a place in this world, and I do wish that there was more people getting behind it and realising how powerful things like meditation, essential oils, and practice of self-love and self-care, just like what Joanna coaches, and clarity within your true purpose. All of this makes a massive difference to the quality of life that you can lead. So I hope that you take Joanna's advice and also go and follow her, go and see what she does and what she's all about. And no doubt you'll become a Raven fan pretty quickly, because I am as well. So thank you so much again, Joanna, for being here.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening again, wherever you are in the world. I really appreciate you all being part of this movement and listening to these incredible women that I have on this show each week. If you want to find out more about Joanna, you can scroll down and all her information will be there. And of course, if you want to know a little bit about Unstoppable, right underneath Joanna's details, you will find a little bit of info on us too. So have a beautiful, productive day or a fantastic sleep wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And I will speak to you all again real soon. Bye now.